few seconds.
Right, good afternoon everybody. My name's Tony Wilson and I'm the course tutor for Land-Based Studies and Rural Skills here at SRUC's Elmwood Campus. And what I'm going to do this afternoon, evening is have a run through the courses that I run here, what they involve and what the main progression routes are. So without further ado, I shall just go into my PowerPoint here. I said I've got 2 courses. I've actually technically got 3 because we run a schools-based pre-entry course on a Monday afternoon. Now this is aimed at schools that are pupils that are currently at secondary school. S4, 5 and 6 is the age range we're kind of looking for, with a view to coming into the campus on one of our courses next academic year. So for instance, the ones that are here at the moment on a Monday afternoon would be looking to start with us at the beginning of September when our full-time courses start. The reason we have the age limit at S4 is they have to be 16 years old by Christmas in their first academic year, otherwise they don't get funding. Okay, so we're looking at people who are 15 at the moment who would be 16 by Christmas, let's say. The pre-entry course is a minimum of 8 weeks. They don't have to be consecutive weeks. We're aware that school kids have sometimes got commitments at school, or you might have doctor's appointments, whatever. As long as you do 8 weeks in total, you can achieve the course. And we look to do 8 tasks, which are tasters for the full-time work that you would do if you come into land-based studies or rural skills. So it could be working on footpaths, it could be working with small machines like electric drills or lawnmowers or something like that. The course is entirely practical. There's no paperwork in this one at all, apart from a registration form that you have to fill in with contact details and so on. And that leads into the full-time courses, which are, as much as we can make them, paperwork free. Now, I'll explain that in more detail in the individual courses. There is some paperwork, there will always be paperwork. But the courses are aimed at pupils who don't do well in classroom situations for whatever reason. So people who are interested in working outdoors, people who are more practically orientated, like working with their hands, maybe want to get a job on a farm or an estate or a golf course or whatever it might be. So for that reason, it's as practical as I can possibly make the courses. And you get a little certificate at the end saying you have done this particular course. Okay, so that's the pre-entry course. As I say, it runs Monday afternoons. It will run up to the end of May this year. Obviously, there will be a break for the Easter holidays, first 2 weeks of April. So if anybody's interested in doing that, probably just about enough time. There's about 10, 12 weeks left to do the 8 weeks. So that would be an option. Or you could do it next year if you're intending on staying at school. And there's a couple of pictures of the sort of work that we try and get the pre-entry guys to help with, but the full-time courses to do. So footpath work, bridge construction, and using small machinery like the whacker plate that you see there, which is used for compacting soil surfaces, gravel surfaces, laying monoblocks, that kind of thing. So normally what happens after you've done the pre-entry course is you come into Certificate of Land-Based Studies, which is what they call a locally devised award. So that means that SRUC has made this award up from existing units from the SQA. And at the end of it, you get a level 4 certificate from the SQA saying that you've achieved the course. It's made up of 18 units in total. So basically the year's divided up into 3 blocks. You'll do 6 units in each block. And to achieve the course, you simply have to pass 12 of those 18 units. Okay. Embedded within them, there are 3 core skills. communication skills, ICT, and numeracy. And those are pitched at whatever level you have already got from school, the next level up. So if you come out of school with that 4 in English, we would pitch you at level 5 for core skills. If you didn't do it at school, we would pitch you at level 3. Also, if the tutor decides that you're capable, they might push that up to level 4. Okay, all the other units are credited at level 4, so the same level as in that 4, but again, they're all practical, and they're taken as a selection of units from other courses that we run in SRUC, notably horticulture. There's some animal care units. It's mostly to do with livestock, so how to look after sheep, cattle, alpacas, because we've got to deal with a local alpaca farm. There's a little bit of forestry, gardening, how to use machinery, and so forth. And we currently, on the next picture, we currently have an allotment that we use for crop production. So the students will plant vegetables, propagate them from scratch, grow them on, and then harvest them at the end of the year. You might even get to take some home with you. So it's more horticulture biased than anything else. So most of the units that you'll do are the sort of thing that you would do in gardening. There's a certain element of estate maintenance in it. You would be building fences, planting trees, fixing woodwork, that sort of stuff. And then you can see a couple of machines there. The one on the top is the one that the land-based get to play with. That's called a Gator, which is the brand name for John Deere's utility terrain vehicle. If you think about it as a big, rugged off-road golf buggy designed for taking tools, materials, equipment off-road in order to do maintenance tasks like building footpaths, fixing fences, and so forth. So the land-based class gets to learn how to drive one of those on-road and off-road. And then if you come into the rural skills class and progress onto that from land-based, you'll then get to use the tractor that you see in the bottom right. Is a unit called tractor operations. So how to operate a tractor safely, including reversing with trailers on, connecting machinery to it, all that sort of thing. Okay, so that's the land-based studies course. And as I said, it progresses usually into the NC rural skills, which is an intermediate NC level 4. It comes from a group framework award created by the Scottish Qualifications Authority. It's the same level as the land-based studies class, but it's slightly more advanced in that there are 6 mandatory units. So 6 of the 18 units that you do, you have to achieve to pass the course. You still have to achieve 12 units, but 6 of them must be the mandatory units, which are developing skills for employment, so learning how to get yourself a job in future, enterprise skills, learning how to run a small business, and as part of that, the students have an enterprise that they run from the college. In our case, it's splitting, bagging, advertising, and selling logs. So those are 2 units. There are 2 environmental studies units, rural environment and introduction, and rural species and habitats. So looking at the local environment, looking at the sort of plants and animals that we find locally, and learning a little bit more about how conservation works. That's with a view to potentially progressing onto our countryside management full-time courses. And then the last 2 are more estate maintenance based, rural estate maintenance, rural work activities, where you'll learn how to maintain the infrastructure on a farm or an estate, an animal park, whatever it might be. And that'll be project based, building a shed, building a footbridge, constructing fences, doing woodworking tasks, drainage, whatever it might be. We try to make it as practical orientated as possible, so it'll be real work that needs done either here at the college or with some of our partner organisations. We've got a variety of farms, forestries, local community trusts, ranger services that we go out and do practical work for them as part of these units. Okay, so 6 mandatory units. There's also the 3 core skills again. I know you can't escape them, but at the next level up. So whatever level you got at land base or from school, you can then progress up and improve your core skills, which everybody needs these days in order to get employment. Okay, so again, numeracy, ICT, communication skills. And then the rest of the units are made up from other things like tractor driving. There's 2 gamekeeping units, gamekeeping and introduction, and pest and predator control. You don't kill anything, but you learn how and why pest species are controlled. There's quite a few forestry units. So for instance, woodland skills teaches you how to use a variety of tools, not chainsaws, that you would use if you're working in a woodland, and processing timber from a local wood in order to make a few different things like log sails I mentioned, but also bean poles, tool handles, stakes, that sort of thing. And there's a construction project. In previous years, we've built bridges, we've built sheds, we've built log stores. We'll do that sort of thing. And that, as I said, is all done in conjunction with local landowners, local charities, who can generate the sort of work that I need for a class of up to 14 people. So the classes, the 2 classes, land-based rural skills, 14 people is the size of class I aim for. That's because I look for a class that I can take out in a minibus. So 14 people plus me as the driver and either 1 or 2 support workers. The classes are fully supported by usually 2 support staff, and they're there to help anybody who's got additional support needs, dyslexia, whatever it might be. But they're also there to help me just classroom management, be my eyes and ears at one end of the woodland while I'm at another end teaching somebody there. Yeah. So I need space for them on the minibus. So as I say, both courses are supported. Couple of the things that we've done in the past, there's a footbridge that we constructed up at a local woodland owned by a local charitable trust. So that was scratch built by the students you see standing on the bridge there. And then some of the woodland units you can see on the right hand side, there's a bunch of students clearing some fallen trees off a right away and also doing a bit of pruning. So you'll learn how to prune woodlands. If at some point you do decide you want to try and get a chainsaw certificate, one of the things that the people providing the course would be looking for is you having had some experience using hand tools. So you'll learn how to use bow saws, pruning saws, felling axes, that sort of thing. We do run short courses here, allowing you to get a certificate to use a chainsaw, but that's run by our short courses department, nothing to do with me. So that's the Rural Skills course, and those are my contact details. If you've got any inquiries about it, if you want to come and have a chat, to have a look at the campus, to have a little interview with a view to coming in next year, get in touch either through our admissions office, which Caroline will give you details for, or that's my direct email address, anthony.wilson@sruc.ac.uk, and my direct office phone number here where I'm sitting at the moment, 01334 658849, and that's got an answering machine if I'm out teaching or gone home for the evening or whatever. But I'll check that every day to make sure there's any messages. So that is my little presentation. I shall hand back to Caroline.
Hi, Tony, thanks for that.
That's okay.
Would you be able to tell us a little bit about the PPE that students?
Yeah, we are required to make sure that you're safe while you're working here. So for that reason, we provide you with personal protective equipment, PPE. Both classes get the same. They get steel toe cap boots, they get steel toe cap wellies, they get waterproof trousers, waterproof top, and a fleece. They also get 3 sets of gloves, 2 summer issue, 1 winter issue work gloves. You will be expected to wear that when circumstances mean you have to. You're partly responsible for your own safety when you're out there, but I'm responsible if I take you out to make sure that you don't get hypothermia, you don't get soaked. So the deal is, if you're not wearing the PPE, you don't come on a class and therefore you get marked absent, even if you're there, because for insurance purposes, we can't have you outside doing practical work without steel toe caps, without proper warm clothing and so on. But we will provide it, and we'll provide a locker here on the campus for you to keep it in, so you don't have to carry it back and forward every day. You saw some of the slides, guys wearing high-vis jackets, hard hats and so on. If we are doing tasks that require that, they will be provided too. So if we're doing forestry work, you might have to wear a hard hat. If we're working near roads or on footpaths, you'll have to wear high-vis jackets. We provide those as well. But everything that you need for your safety will be provided. You have to use them. Okay.
That's great. Thanks, Tony. That's all our questions.
Okay.
So you've obviously done very well covering everything this afternoon.
All right. Great stuff. Hope to see you all. If anybody's interested in getting in touch to maybe come in for a chat, just give me a phone, drop me an email, and we can sort out a date for you to come and visit.